Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Magic is believing in yourself. If you can do that, you can make anything happen. A man sees in the world what he carries in his heart. None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free. Dream no small dreams, for they have no power to move the hearts of men. Things which matter most must never be at the mercy of things which matter least. He who does not expect 1,000,000 people to lie will find himself very lonely. Daring ideas are like chessmen moved forward. They may be beaten, but they may start a winning game. He who does not expect 1,000,000 people to lie will find himself very lonely. There is nothing more frightful than ignorance in action. We are shaped and fashioned by what we love. Life belongs to the living, and he who lives must be prepared for changes. Every day one should at least hear one little song, read one good poem, see one fine painting, and, if possible, speak a few sensible words. The way you see people is the way you treat them, and the way you treat them is what they become. To think is easy, to act is hard, but the hardest thing in the world is to act in accordance with your thinking. Behavior is the mirror in which everyone shows their image. We do not have to visit a madhouse to find disordered minds. Our planet is the mental institution of the universe. A really great talent finds its happiness in execution. One ought, every day at least, to hear a little song, read a good poem, see a fine picture, and, if it were possible, to speak a few reasonable words. As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live. Double quotes. Love does not dominate, it cultivates. The greatest thing in this world is not so much where we stand as in what direction we are moving. A person should hear a little music, read a little poetry, and see a fine picture every day of their life, in order that worldly cares may not obliterate the sense of the beautiful which God has implanted in the human soul. Double quotes. A clever man commits no minor blunders. In nature we never see anything isolated, but everything in connection with something else which is before it, beside it, under it, and over it. Every person above the ordinary has a certain mission that they are called to fulfill. Nothing is worth more than this day. In all things it is better to hope than to despair. What is not started today is never finished tomorrow. Treat people as if they were what they ought to be, and you help them to become what they are capable of being. If you want to reach the infinite, explore every aspect of the finite. I love those who yearn for the impossible. Character develops itself in the stream of life. A person's manners are a mirror in which they show their portrait. The soul that sees beauty may sometimes walk alone. Correction does much, but encouragement does more. Correction does much, but encouragement does more. The hardest thing to see is what is in front of your eyes. What you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Nothing shows a man's character more than what he laughs at. The way to gain a good reputation is to endeavor to be what you desire to appear. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Every day is a little life, and our whole life is but a day repeated. One always has time enough, if one will apply it well. A man should hear a little music, read a little poetry, and see a fine picture every day of his life, in order that worldly cares may not obliterate the sense of the beautiful. To live without loving is not really to live. We are never deceived we deceive ourselves. The person born with a talent they are meant to use will find their greatest happiness in using it. He only earns his freedom and his life who takes them every day by storm. Talent develops in quiet places, character in the full current of human life. I have come to the frightening conclusion that I am the decisive element. It is my personal approach that creates the climate. It is my daily mood that makes the weather. If you treat an individual as he is, he will remain as he is. But if you treat him as if he were what he ought to be and could be, he will become what he ought to be and could be. A man's manners are a mirror in which he shows his portrait. We must always change, renew, rejuvenate ourselves. Otherwise we harden. To see a friend without hope is like looking upon a man dead in life. Each indecision brings its own delays, and days are lost lamenting over lost days. Divide and rule, a sound motto. Unite and lead, a better one. Difficulties increase the nearer we approach the goal. Courage is the commitment to begin without any guarantee of success. Life teaches us to be less harsh with ourselves and with others. The right man is the one who seizes the moment. Nothing is so strong as gentleness. Nothing so gentle as real strength. To rise above oneself, one must master oneself. To rise above oneself, one must master oneself. Whatever you cannot understand, you cannot possess. Every situation, properly perceived, becomes an opportunity. There is strong shadow where there is much light. One never goes so far as when one doesn't know where one is going. Endure when you can, and endure when you must. The best government is that which teaches us to govern ourselves. Let everyone sweep in front of his own door, and the whole world will be clean. If you must tell me your opinions, tell me what you believe in. I have plenty of doubts of my own. Nature knows no pause in progress and development, and attaches her curse on all inaction. One ought every day to hear a little song, read a good poem, see a fine picture, and, if it were possible, to speak a few reasonable words. What is important in life is life, and not the result of life. There is nothing insignificant in the world. It all depends on the point of view. In art, as in life, there is no pleasure without struggle. We are formed and molded by our thoughts. Those whose minds are shaped by selfless thoughts give joy when they speak or act.